Hi ladies and gentlemen, it's March 2nd, 2017, and I just thought I'd bring up a couple of things. The first being this thing with Jeff Sessions. It's amazing to me, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, that this whole Russian thing becomes such an issue because really it's all the Dems and the leftists have. Not that it's for real, not that it means anything, not that there is any intimation of wrongdoing here, just what they hype it up to be. The fact of the matter is, leaders of governments, especially those in waiting, like the president-elect and his team, are going to do these communications. But regardless of any of that, I wanted to bring this up because I think I really have to. We've repeatedly asked, a lot of us have, President Trump to take the gloves off and to reveal all the information about China, about the whole Clinton Foundation thing, about everything that Obama's done. I mean, the information that's out there is immense. The pedophile thing, all of that. And yet they keep holding back. Now, part of it's probably because Trump feels like he wants to unify the country, and I understand that. We're in a bad situation right now. During the speech, you saw those Dems sit there looking like a bunch of spoiled little babies pouting, and those women up there in the white, they don't even know what that is. Somebody told them to do it, and they go, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah, it's a suffragette thing. You don't understand anything, Dems, nothing. Or you don't care. But you saw how they treated the SEAL widow and all of that, Mrs. Owens. I mean, the entire thing is that's what our country is right now. And it wasn't Trump that divided us. It was Obama. It was the Bushes. It was the Clintons. It's an ongoing program for many years, Obama being the pinnacle of all of that. So, what am I saying? Well, maybe if you ignore something, it'll go away. Or maybe if you don't give it credence, it'll die out on its own. Of course, I'm in no position, many of us aren't, most of us aren't, to give President Trump our feelings on this. But I'm just going to go with it, with his decision. I mean, what else can I do? So this thing with Sessions is probably a non-event. At least that's probably how the administration's looking at it. And maybe rightly so, I don't know. But I do know that the Dems and the lefties are disgusting. And lack of proof, I mean, the intelligence people that were left behind by Obama and the State Department, etc., FBI, CIA, all of that, NSA, all of it, they never even send out the whole context of the information. It's some little snippet, and then they blow it up into something that it isn't. Have you ever been to a schoolyard brawl? And the guy that starts the fight comes up with some fantastic, ridiculous story to support his position in being the bully. That's what this is. It's the same thing at a national level. It just shows how bad Americans are. And I want to touch Representative so-called Jason Chaffetz. What a turncoat. Now he's telling Sessions that he needs to recuse himself. Chaffetz, I've never seen anybody jump around the way you do. And it's not because you're after the truth. It's because you're trying to stroke somebody that you think is going to help you. You're playing the middle road like so many of these other people do. You are just anathema to liberty, anathema. You had a chance to go after the BLM. And who paid you off? You said, oh, well, we're not going to do that. We're going to back off it because it might send the wrong message. The BLM and what they've done and the FBI supporting them in this and not investigating their wrongdoing is the problem. The EPA, I see, we're going to be able to drop a lot of that. It's about time. Okay, wow. I can't believe I got upset about that. I wasn't going to. Okay, enough on that. All I'm saying is that if the Trump administration doesn't want to take the gloves off, there's nothing that we can do about it, okay? And they might have a good reason for doing it. I just hope it doesn't come from behind and nip them in the ass, which it probably will. All right. I love Trump. His family, Wonderful, decent, noble people, despite what Pelosi and all of those creeps, all those people who, now they're talking about, oh, the Constitution. He's the deflector in chief. He's not following the Constitution. Where were you when you were breaking the Constitution constantly and never even considered that you were doing something wrong? Push that away. Okay. I want to thank Pam Jones for Liberty. She put up a really interesting meme today on Twitter. You should go look at it. I should have taken a picture of it, but at any rate, she talks, basically she's quoting Ezekiel 22:30 about the servant of the Lord building a wall to protect the people and standing in the breach there. Yeah, it's probably nothing to do with Trump, okay? Although, like I've often said, these metaphors, these prophecies come, because I haven't looked at it that close, come in very particular circumstances. And if you look at the way it's worded, the types of letters that are used in the Hebrew and all that, it really can mean something. And I haven't gone that far, but I thought it was just great that she put that up, so I wanted to thank her for it. Then I wanted to talk about this thing with David Knight. He put up he did the nightly news or something anyway, but he put up a video. It's about, maybe 12 minutes long, something like that. And it's called UK Cops Give Up on Prosecuting Pedophilia. And I would like, the link is down below, and I think David Knight, I have so much respect for David Knight. He has some particular beliefs that sometimes, I just wish he would open up and talk a little bit about it with me, but he won't do that. They're under orders not to do that, it looks like. But at any rate, the bottom line is this video he did, starting at about the 6 minute and 15 second mark. If you could go look at that, I think you should watch the whole thing, actually, and the link again is below. But listen to what he says about not supporting people, even if they're conservatives, but they're into this gay, pedophilic, all of that lifestyle, and how we should still view that. And he said, he doesn't care if people unfollow him on Twitter. He's not going to be standing in front of God being judged by how many Twitter followers he had. He just put it so well, as David Knight always does. So please go look at that. And then to finish up real quick today, the corruption of the Obama administration is so outrageous that there's no way I could even cover it all here. So I'm only going to bring up two things today. The first being Obama's OFA, which of course is Organizing for Action. He's basically going back to his community organizing, but on a grand scale. That was the only thing that got him noticed anyway, to begin with, back when before he was a senator. A little CIA plant in there, of course. He was raised up through the CIA. The CIA is a horrible organization. It doesn't have our interests at heart. But you've heard me talk about that. I'm sorry I got off on a tangent. His OFA, Organizing for Action, and Eric Holder saying, oh yeah, he's going to come back big time. What he's doing in the OFA is so close to criminality and treason. It's so close. Inciting to riot, all that. I mean, he's a step away from us, so he can claim he's not doing that. But I think if the AG really wanted to, they could go after him, prior president or not. But look at the situation here. You have Secret Service protecting Obama now in this thing that he's doing. Oh, well, Clinton too, for that matter. But Obama's dangerous, and he knows it, and he loves it. Remember what he said about the drones? You'll never see it coming. Remember he said that? That's the type of person he is. He's vindictive, he's nasty, he's evil. Okay? And I've been saying that for years. It has nothing to do with his race. It has to do with what he does. The fruits that he shows constantly. And the people that flock to him are just like the third of the hosts of heaven that went with Lucifer. Of course, again, that's not his name, but you know the situation I'm talking about. And it's really interesting, because in the book of Revelations it says that during this whole thing, this big war and all that, a third of men will be killed. horrible thing. But that third is the same number that were expelled from the war in heaven. A third of the hosts of heaven were expelled. Whoa. The parallels are very interesting. We could talk about that, but the bottom line is he should be arrested, as far as I'm concerned, for what he's done with the OFA. Look at what he did, and I put this out, probably not here on Twitter anywhere, I sent it off to some friends, about the Fannie Mae and Fannie Mac situation, where he basically stole money from that to prop up Obamacare. Can you believe that? That in itself is illegal. Immoral. Unbelievable. The system can't support itself, so you're going to do that? Now, I got to say, there's been some other things like that in the past. Eisenhower, as much as I liked him, he stole from the Social Security accounts to help rebuild Europe. That was wrong, too. So I don't look at any of this rob Peter to pay Paul crap that goes on in the government as legitimate. I don't care who does it. And then finally, today it comes out, Obama, it's Gateway Pundit brought it out. It's probably going to hit the press and some other places. Not the mainstream, of course. They like to put lids on this thing. But the DOJ slush fund that Obama set up to, kind of like the government use of the DOJ, like he's using the OFA now, to fund violence and protest and discontent and upheaval. I tell you what, there really is a war in the government. I've been talking about it for years, but now it's just coming out in the open so much. We have the most evil, wicked government in the world. Frankly, I don't think we deserve Trump. And Trump, sometimes I think, ought to just, the scriptures say, when you see the abomination of desolation, which is all over the place now, I don't even know if you know what that means. A lot of people have discussed what they thought it is, but it's really quite clear. Regardless, it's everywhere. And the scripture says, when you see the abomination as spoken of by Daniel the prophet, stand ye in the holy place. What's the holy place? It's very simple. It means you separate from it. You put yourself in a position where you're not anywhere near that as much as you can. You pull out of the system. And frankly, Trump's sacrificing himself. I put it out on Twitter the other day, that he is sacrificing himself, his wealth, his life, his family, his sacred honor, everything, to try to do this. In other words, I know a lot of you people aren't going to like that, but he is doing what Christ said to do. And he even said in his speech the other night, no greater love about the seal, no greater love hath a man than this, to lay down his life for his friends. Ladies and gentlemen, he is laying down everything he has for people he does not even know. Wow. That's the Spirit of Christ, even if he's not Christ, right? And he isn't, but that's a whole other story too about what Messiah means and all that, and I won't go into it. It really just means anointed, but that's a whole other story. The point is, he's sacrificing himself to try to do the right thing. And I just ask God to protect him, because and his family, they're just too good. They're too good for us. They're too good. Too good for this nation, too good for the world. But they do it because of their heart. Obama again. Slush fund in the DOJ to support violence and protest. All the things that they did to leave behind in the administration to do the leaks and to twist the information to make it sound bad when it isn't. Anything they can do to disrupt the Trump administration. The whole thing with organizing for action that we're seeing now, and the Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac theft of those funds to shore up Obamacare. If there was ever a president that needs to go to prison, it's Obama.